If you're making these mistakes, then your books are most likely invisible on Amazon KDP. So in this video, I'm going to show you what these mistakes are and how you can fix it so you can make more book sales. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sean and I made over 7 figures for my own books on Amazon KDP. And this is a subscriber book review series that I do where I critique your books that you submitted to me and tell you exactly what to fix to make more sales. If you want me to review your books in the future, just follow me on Instagram at SeanDowit13. Send me the links to your books on Amazon and maybe in the future, your book will show up in one of these videos. And before we start with the first book, I just want to say that unfortunately from now on, I have to add a disclaimer in every single video because YouTube is getting more and more strict. So this is not financial advice. I'm not guaranteeing any results. This is a real business and a real business takes time to build. My results that I share in these videos are real, okay? I'm not lying, but that does not mean that you will achieve the same thing, okay? I have a full disclaimer in the description. If you guys want to check it out, it is over there. And with that being said, this is book number 1. So, Relaxation Coloring Book, The Friends of the Forest Edition, a calming journey into a fantasy world. So, you got 4 reviews. Your cover looks kind of nice, except for the fact that it's probably AI with, these section in the hand. It's not really gripping anything. So it does kind of look AI. Another way you can tell is that the tree or the leaves are transforming into a semi-butterfly over here. So I'm not against AI coloring books. If you do it right, like if you generate the images and then you go and fix it up later, like remove these inconsistencies, these errors, then I'm completely okay with using AI. As an example, this book right here, right? Fairyland Adult Coloring Book, 99% confident that they used AI as well. But the difference is they fixed it up. So this book is selling extremely well. I think last time I checked, it was doing like a couple $1,000s a month and it's an AI coloring book, right? So it's possible if you take the additional step of fixing the errors. So just make sure you do that. But besides that, right, because you're not necessarily getting bad reviews. I think if you start selling more and if you start scaling this book, then you will start getting bad reviews for those reasons. But for now, you don't have that. It's just 4 reviews and you made some sales, but not a lot. Well, the biggest reason is you probably took the upload and forget approach, right? So you just uploaded, you got 4 reviews and you didn't really do any marketing. You didn't run ads or anything. And you're like, why is this book not selling? Well, it sold something, which shows how crazy big Amazon is. But if you want to make more money, then you just have to market the book more. And this is especially true if you go into a competitive keyword like relaxation coloring book. Whenever you go into a very broad keyword like this, like relaxation coloring book, super broad, right? You are competing with more people and more people have more advertising budget. So if you're going to compete with more people with higher advertising budget, then you better be ready to spend more on advertising yourself. So a lot of beginners make this mistake where they pick like the broadest keyword ever, like motivation or confidence or, something like that. And then they upload a generic book with no marketing and they're like, why is my book not selling? Well, that's exactly why. Okay. So how do you get out of this trap? Well, number 1, you can just avoid these super competitive keywords by niching down. So instead of doing just relaxation coloring book, you could have done, relaxing fantasy world coloring book or fantasy coloring book for relaxation. That's actually a keyword, right? You can even do fantasy coloring book for kids 4 to 8 or a different age group. Or you can niche down into just boys, just girls. And after that, you can niche down to, boys 4 to 8 or boys 12 to 16 or something like that, different age, right? So there's so many different ways to niche down and cut down on your competition. And of course, every time you niche down, every time you come up with a variation of a keyword, you have to go and check if people are actually still buying books on the topic. You still have to check demand. But as long as you do that, this is how you can stand out even if you're just a beginner with lower advertising budget so that you don't have to spend so much in advertising to get your book ranked on page 1, right? It's a lot easier to rank on page 1 once you do this. So that'd be my number 1 recommendation is to choose a keyword that's more niche down. And then once you do so, you still should be getting more than 4 reviews. If you're curious what is the best ways to get reviews, then I do have a video titled The Easiest Way to Get Hundreds of Book Reviews on Amazon KDP. You can look it up on YouTube, just searching for it, or I will also leave a link to this video in the description below. So that was book number 1. This is the second book, which is from the same person, and my advice is exactly the same. You went into the same thing, relaxation coloring book, and you just have 3 reviews. So the solution to this is exactly the same. Now, one thing I will say though, that your book cover is pretty nice. And again, you're probably using AI because of these small details here. You see this section, it looks AI, right? I'm not sure what you call this, but this triangle thing or the arrow thing, it kind of looks weird. But besides that, I mean, the error is very, very small. So just fix those things up. And I think if you do that, your product itself is decent. So you just have to get better at keyword research and also marketing. And I think you'll do pretty well. All right, so the next book is Understanding and Supporting Teens with ADHD, a guide for parents from a parent, guide for parents of children and teenagers with ADHD, how to deal. Your title is way too long, so it's cutting off here and it looks super unprofessional, so don't do that. Another thing that's very, very unprofessional is the capitalization of each word. So you're capitalizing the first letter of each word here, but then in some other section, you're not. So this inconsistency is making it look super unprofessional. What you want to do is you want to capitalize the first letter of each word consistently. Okay, do that entire thing. And so you're doing that in the subtitle here, but your title is full caps, which also makes it look very unprofessional. So the entire title is very unprofessional. Just simply capitalize the first letter of each word throughout the title and the subtitle. That's much better. Next thing, your title is kind of scary. Okay, so, I'm just being honest here, but it's very, very creepy. I don't understand the connection between this and ADHD. The best way to figure out what sort of cover design you should have on your book is just simply search for your topic on Amazon and then find top sellers, right? And see what kind of designs are working, in terms of your competitors, your top competitors. And then obviously you don't want to copy the exact same thing, but you want to get ideas, and model the ideas. So if you scroll down here, these are the products that are related to this item. So it's, related to ADHD. All the other book covers are mostly text-based with a little bit of design elements that you can see here, but it's mostly text, right? And it's very kids friendly with bright colors. Whenever you have a children's book or, books for kids, teens, typically the colors are a little bit more brighter because kids react to that, right? Which makes sense. So this is a good cover, and I will probably, model something like this, or this is a good one too. And this normally, I would say this book cover is very messy, but it's ADHD, so maybe it makes sense to make a very messy cover with a lot of things popping up, because of the topic. But I'll probably model these, text-based covers. And I would 100% advise you to update the book cover as the #1 step here, because again, I really think this book cover gotta improve. If you need a book cover designer recommendation, this is a good one on Fiverr. It's just $10 for the front cover. It's $30 for the premium cover. I usually go with the $30 option. I've used her many, many times, and she creates pretty good book covers for cheap. So if you want a affordable but pretty good high quality book cover, then definitely use her. I'll leave a link in the description below. So overall, I would say the main issue is not the marketing, it's the product. Unfortunately, the book just doesn't make sense, right? So the title is very unprofessional. Again, the book cover is very scary. And on top of that, I think the biggest thing is the positioning of this book. So it's a, ADHD book for teens, but it's a guide for parents, right? So the keyword should have been this one, how to parent children with ADHD, or the ADHD parenting guide for boys, or, for teens or something like that, because those are actually what people type in the search bar. So that should have been your title, but also the positioning of this book, right? So I don't understand this 100 myths and facts about kids and teens with ADHD. Like, what is this? You say why to read it, 100 myths and facts about kids and teens with ADHD, and then you're going to the free gift. Like, where does this come in? I guess that is one of the content in the book, but it was just placed in a weird position in the description, so it was confusing me. But after reading the description, I kind of feel like English is not your first language. If that is the case, I do respect you for, still trying to build a business despite your English being, your second language, right? Which it is my second language as well. So it's definitely possible to make it happen. But, especially with ChatGPT nowadays, there's really no excuses to have bad grammar, because you literally just run everything through ChatGPT and just have it check your grammar before you upload, and you will have perfect grammar every single time. So there's just way too much errors in the description, in the title that you have to fix, and then obviously the book cover. So that'll be my recommendation. For those who watch the book review series consistently, I want you guys to start predicting what I'm going to say before I say it, okay? Because this is going to be a really good practice for you guys. All right, this is the next book, because we've encountered this problem many, many times in previous videos as well. The issue is, what is the keyword of this book? We literally just got Cotton's First Christmas. That is it, right? Who is this book for? What is this book about? There's nothing that is describing that in the subtitle, and there's no keyword to rank for. Like, what is this? It's a Christmas book for kids? It actually says right here in the description. So the publishing company publishes books for kids aged 0 to 4. So a cute children's book about Christmas for kids aged 0 to 4 might be the closest keyword that I can think of. But that'd be the main thing is you don't have a keyword, okay? And you need to have a keyword. Keyword is something that people search in the search bar to look for a book on whatever topic. So you know how like when a customer wants to buy a Christmas book for kids 4 to 8, what do you think they're going to type in the search bar here? They're going to come and type in Christmas book for kids 4 to 8. Right? This is what they're going to type. And this is the keyword. And if you want to rank for that keyword, meaning if somebody searched for that keyword, and if you want to show up on page 1 because your book is exactly about that, right? Your book is exactly Christmas book for kids 4 to 8, then you must put that keyword in your title, or at the very least, your subtitle, because that is how you tell Amazon, hey, this is what my book is about. You should probably rank me in the keyword, so when people search for that, my book will show up. Okay, so that is how it works. And if you don't do that, then Amazon has no idea what your book is about, because cotton is not a keyword, it's your character. First is obviously too generic. So Amazon literally only has Christmas, just Christmas, to rank your book. So, okay, just because you have Christmas, when people search for Christmas, there's a chance your book will show up. But how many other books are using Christmas? It's so broad that your book might rank, but you're gonna rank in like page 1000, you know? So it's just not strong enough. That's why you gotta be way more specific with your keyword. So that is number 1, or that's like the main thing here. So, you know, your book cover looks decent, but then looking at the A+ content, it looks like this is just AI, right? So I can't really comment on the product. You know, is it good? Is it bad? The reviews seems okay, you know, but based on the AI images, I'm not sure if it's like a 5 out of 5 amazing book or not. But, you know, for now, this is the biggest thing is you don't have a keyword. So then what do you do if you don't have a keyword in your book, right? Is your book doomed? No, you can still run ads to show your book to more people. You can still do social media marketing to get your book seen. But if you had a keyword in your title, then you would have made way more organic sales, you know, way easier to rank organically, because again, Amazon's just going to rank you in relevant keywords based on what you put in the title. So it's the same exact effort for you, but you would have made more sales just by having this. So you can still make sales advertising it yourself. It's just going to be harder. And yeah, so don't make this mistake next time. Our next book is Choose Your Quest to Win the Tournament, Part 2 of 2, an interactive sci-fi action adventure with multiple endings and illustrations. Okay, cool. So I don't do a lot of fiction. My commentary is going to be pretty surface level here, but your book cover looks nice. I would definitely compare with other book covers in the niche. So you have to compare yourself. Like if these are the other books that are ranking on this in the similar genre, I'm not sure, right? But if it is, then I feel like your book cover is lacking a little bit in terms of colors and stuff. It's just not capturing emotion. It's not intriguing me as much as these. This is yours, I think, but like these other ones. This looks pretty cool. It's like Maze Runner, you know? You're not showing that kind of the world building aspect of it. Number 2, you have barely no reviews. 7 reviews is just not going to cut it. And with fiction, the main keyword optimization you can do is just essentially putting the category, which in this case you did, sci-fi action adventure. And you even said with multiple endings and illustrations, which is further selling the book. So in terms of your title structure, I think it's really good. So you're just really lacking the marketing aspect of it. You know, you uploaded it, you did a lot of work creating a good book, right? Multiple endings, illustrations, you know, I think those are pretty cool elements, right? And I think it makes the book good. And you have even a bonus here. So really the only thing you're lacking is marketing the book. You really should be running Amazon ads. You know, fiction people run Facebook ads as well. So I would definitely learn how to do that and start doing it. All right, guys, I'll end the video here, and hopefully you see that getting feedback, you know, someone else to review your book and critique it is very helpful in terms of figuring out what you're actually doing wrong. Because a lot of times, if you're the one just looking at the book, it's hard for you to see the mistake that you're making. So this is exactly why I created my Amazon KDP coaching program. It's not just a course. We don't just sell a course, right? We sell a coaching program. It comes with a complete course, but the main value is the fact that you get, you know, coaching, right? So one-on-one coaching, group coaching, we got a lot of workshops that are happening right now. So essentially getting feedback from people who've done it before, you know, have results themselves. And we hire coaches that are actually crushing it. We don't hire people that are just doing like $1,000 a month, you know, $2,000 a month. They published one book and all of a sudden they're a coach, like other programs do that. We don't do that, okay? We actually hire people who's making full-time income from their own Amazon KDP business to the point where I don't even understand why they're working as a coach for me, because because they could just be doing their own KDP business. But they all say that they like coaching and they like to mix it up. So, it's good for me, right? That I get really high quality people, but I also pay them well. So anyways, if you want to learn more about that, it's the first link in the description below. You can book a free strategy call. It's about 30 minutes, completely free, to see if this program is a good fit for you. If it's not a good fit, no problem, no pressure. We don't do high pressure selling. So that is that. So the link to that is in the description, as well as all the tools and resources that I recommend for your publishing business is also there. So thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.